And we're back, guys. So now you guys know what side of the menu this is on. This is Quantum Energy at its finest. Mindset Thursday going on. I got Michael Diamond with us today. And we ready to get this thing going. Let's do a mic check for you, Diamond. Are you there? Mic check, mic check. Put your mic on. Let me see if you're crispy. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. I can't hear you, Diamond.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Can you hear me?
Looking sharper than a Gillette razor blade. Woo! If I was standing to you, I might get cut and need some Band-Aids, right? What's going on, Michael? How you doing today?
A day in paradise, little brother. Another day in paradise.
Man, I know that feeling, man.
Anytime you wake up and you don't have a chalk, if you don't have a white chalk line around your body, it's a great day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And today we got the legends here today showing up to grow up. They got their pens and pads ready to go. As you see, like your man right here, Master Jamil, we're ready to go. We want to hear some of those diamond drops. Everybody has been ready and willing to get some of this new knowledge turned into a sponge so they could, absorb this powerful information. And like I was telling these guys before you loaded up, Michael, that, everybody make sure you got your info boost on. Okay. We need that info boost on because we need you guys to focus on what's getting ready to happen to you. You're getting ready to transform your life. Michael had assured me that you guys are going to have some heat. So he said he got some fire for you guys. So make sure you got a cooler outside so you can get cooled off afterwards, because you're going to be fired up the rest of the month. We're going to go in October lit, guys. We're ready to take this quantum energy, this quantum wellness technology to a whole new level and take your mind to a whole new level as well. So without any further ado, guys, my big brother, he is an expert at personal development, okay, master sales trainer, right, international motivational speaker, my man, my best friend, Michael Diamond. Won't you come to the table, my man?
Wow, Jay, Master Jamil, thank you so much. I'm so excited, man. As usual, I got to get myself ready with such an introduction. I got to maybe get that stick pen ready so when I walk door, I can get out of here. Yeah. But Master Jamil, I just want to say to you and the team, I just want to say that you couldn't have selected to be partners with a greater guy. Jamil is a man of integrity, is a man of honesty. Once you are a part of his life, he's not going to stop until he gets you into the winner's circle. So rest assured that you're at the right place at the right time. As we shared once before, that the T in timing is bigger than the T in talent. And I'm off there because I always like that whole concept of the T in timing is bigger than the T in talent. But before we get started, I want to talk about the title that I'm so excited to talk about. And this one is straight from God. So, I don't want you guys to find out at a club, in the booth, in the back, in the dark, while you're having a double that Michael in love with God. So let's just get that out the way right now. But what this title is so indicative. And what's so empowering is that it's unapologetic, unapologetically successful. That's the position I want you to stand in, that you're unapologetically successful. So the title is, it's time to talk yourself into it. It's time to talk yourself into it. You've talked yourself into and out of everything that you are or experiencing in your life. You've talked yourself into it. So it's time for you to talk yourself into that next level. It's time for you to talk yourself full transformation. It's time to talk yourself into it. Now, one of the premises of this entire series is based on the fact that the power of life is in your mouth. So I want to talk about a few things before we jump off. First, I just want to congratulate you that you made it through another week. If you can hear my voice, you are definitely a symbol of possibility. You are a symbol of the blessing because you can hear my voice. I want to congratulate you. I want to thank you for your integrity, for your consistency. I want to congratulate you for every effort that it took for you to be here. I see smiling faces, and I just want you to know that I'm proud of you, that you're a champion, that you're unstoppable with titanium spirit. So as into this, it's time to talk yourself into it. A few things I want to jump on first is as we talk ourselves into it, I want to expand our horizon. We talked about it's time to play a bigger game. We talked about your giants must fall. But now I want to talk to you about thinking universal, universal abundance. As you think about talking yourself into it, I want you to understand that you're really operating and connected into universal. I want you to start getting that in your spirit, that I'm a part of universal abundance. And I want you to understand, I want to go back to a few things. First, when you start life, and we sort of talked on this, we laughed about it, but when you started out in life, everyone, a part of your circle and a part of your mate you were incorporated into, started off talking you into things. Remember when you were a baby? You probably don't. You may still have your same diapers when you was a baby. You know, when you were a baby, they were like, and we talked about this before, come on, baby, you can walk, come on over, you can walk. And you know, you talk to a baby, they're rolling over, you talk, or you make all kind of cute noises, and then eventually they stand up and they walk. Oh my gosh, they walk today, it's a big deal. But everything in your life, initially, you were talked into. As life evolves, then you spoke your first word. When you spoke your first word, that it was a big deal. Everybody, you know, mommy was calling daddy or was calling the sheriff, telling him to come get him. He spoke his first word. He said, you know what I'm saying? But initially, when you spoke your first word, it was exciting. So you started speaking, and everybody started encouraging you to make evolution in life. As you got older, the expectation became for you talking yourself into it. You better get that homework done. You better get that bedroom cleaned up. You better get your chores done. And you better talk yourself. You better fix your face. You better get some A's. You better get better at what you're doing. As life evolves, we start learning that we have to talk ourselves into. Am I going to go to college? Am I going to graduate out of high school? Am I going to get better grades? As you evolve through the cycles of life, you begin to now have learned all this time how to talk yourself into things. Now, what I want to do is I want to circle back the wagon, because initially you were programmed with the ability, you've got greatness in you, and you were programmed with the ability to speak. You could speak. You had words inside you, and you needed to learn how to formulate them. Now there's greatness inside you that I'm going to hold your hand across the freeway with you so that you can expose those talents and gifts and take yourself to a whole nother level, because it is truly time for a bigger game. And I've got 8 golden keys on how to talk yourself into greatness, because greatness is within you. Now do a series on how to talk yourself into it. And I want you to understand that it isn't easy. Like when you first made your first walk and you were standing there, maybe you were standing on the coffee table and you were holding on to the coffee table and you were struggling to get your legs to move forward, and it was a big excitement. It wasn't easy, but you learned new techniques and new things in life. It got easier and easier. So I don't want that to fear you, because yes, things are off hard, but just as in bodybuilding, getting under iron, the iron is designed to expand your muscles. So I expand your consciousness. And I want you to know that I'm unapologetic with this strategy. And it's ambiguous. I'm ambiguous, okay? It's not open to question. There's no questions about this. Unapologetically, you've got greatness in you, and it's time for you to play a bigger game. So I want to talk to you. All of this reminds me, because there's so much more inside of you that your mother or your father or your cousin isn't there to talk you to. Now the universe has put you at the right place at the right time to meet the right people so that you could connect with Mansa Jamil, a winner, a consummate, that would then introduce you to an international motivational speaker, master sales trainer, and expert in personal development, to hold your hand and shatter through your glass ceiling and take you through an entirely new portal. So go ahead and turn your wig the right way, Go ahead and go ahead and yourself a double, because it's time for you to play a bigger game. So now when I talk about the whole concept of it's time to get yourself into it, all of this reminds me of a story, and we talked about it before, the story of Colonel Sanders. Now, Colonel Sanders, many people don't know this, but if you Google his story, Colonel Sanders was indicatively a failure. I mean, like everything he tried didn't. The only thing he really was good at was frying chicken. I mean, he even failed with his daughter, got a divorce with his wife, had multiple challenges. In fact, as I shared with you once before, he was 65 years young, under a tree, ready to commit suicide. That's how bad things were for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Colonel Sanders was 65 years old. He was earning $205 a month. Now I want you to stop about that, and I want you to entertain that. Think about your current bills. Think about your mortgage. Think about your responsibilities. He had those responsibilities as well, earning $205 a month. He was ready to commit suicide, only he made this statement: "I'll get one more try." And he began to talk himself into the fact that the one good thing he had in life was his ability to recipe for chicken. Now, I want you to think about all of your attributes, and I want you to think about your strengths, and I want you to think about the fact that you are more than you have become. There is more inside of you than you have tapped into and that you have evolved into. And so now I want you to think about all that you possibly could become. I want you to think about all that you aspire to and desire to have. And I want you to do Kentucky Fried Chicken. I want you to do like Colonel Sanders. And I want you to say to yourself, I'm going to give it one more try. Now, maybe you said, I'm going to help 5 families this month, and it didn't work out. Maybe you said, I'm going to help 1 family this month, and it didn't work out. Maybe you said, I'm going to try, AI Global, and I know they're winners. I'm going to make it happen. And maybe it hasn't happened for you yet. And maybe like Kentucky Fried Chicken, it hasn't for you yet. And maybe you're frustrated. And maybe you're not completely satisfied with your life. Maybe you're not completely satisfied with success that you're having right now. Just like when you were a baby, don't you give up. You keep letting those legs wallow. You keep putting one leg in front of each other. You just keep doing like Kentucky Fried Chicken, and you keep saying, I'm going to give it one more try. There's 8 things that we're going to talk about, 8 goals. And as I was dealing with this, the Holy Spirit convicted me because I wanted to go with 7, but he said 8. And 8, why 8? Because 8 represents new beginning. And really, as we run toward our dreams, as we run toward the close of this year, as we have courage to believe that the end of this year could be the greatest year of our life, as we have and adopt a titanium spirit and say that it's possible. I want you to say that with me. It's possible. Yes, let's do it again. It's possible.
It's possible.
Right, but I want you to think that whatever it is that you're aspiring to, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, it's possible. I want you to know that and link that to yourself. What I love about is possible, because when I was building an international training company and I put together and got the vision that we'd reach young lives, I was nervous initially. I mean, I didn't know, how could I do this? And there were many nights that I said to myself, Michael, can you do this? Can you pull this off? And I just kept saying to myself, it's possible. I remember when I was earning $656.69 2 weeks and had 4 kids I was raising and I was so broke I couldn't afford to pay attention. I kept saying to myself, I'm going to live this dream. I would have these arguments with myself that, Michael, is it possible? And I want to go back. I want to circle the wagons back to our thinking, because the big arguments and the biggest fights you're ever going to have are going to be with yourself. You may fight with your spouse. You may fight with a relative. You may fight with a coworker. But the biggest you'll ever have are going to be with yourself. convincing yourself, selling yourself, convincing yourself that it's possible, because everything you are and everything you will ever be is going to be from your self-talk. It's going to come from you encouraging yourself, and either you going to believe what's in front of you, those are sent to help you to expand yourself, to become a better you, or you're going to lean on yourself. And I want you to think about leaning on yourself for a minute. Help is a beautiful thing. However, we are only as successful as our mentors in our life. You think about LeBron James. You may know his name. Why do you know LeBron James' name? Because excellence will not be denied. When you operate in a spirit of excellence, it will put you in front of great men, women. It'll transform your world. When you decide, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, he said, I'm going to give it one more try, and I'm going to operate in a spirit of excellence. Now, when he did that, I want you to understand, as he did, I want you to think. When it comes to success and it comes to running towards your dreams, expect and accept challenges. Know that there's going to be obstacles. Don't walk outside and see that you got 4 flats and fall apart. And just, oh my God, my car's on a flat. Oh my God, my car's on a flat. Somebody ran into my car. I said, girl, I said, I'm going to take my wig off and my earrings. It's going. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to accept and expect obstacles and challenges and problems across your path. And let me give you an example. Kentucky Fried Chicken, when he made his mind up that he was going to give it one more try, just like you, when he made his attitude was one of his most important attributes and one of his biggest wealths, he decided he was going to make this happen. He was not going to commit suicide. It took him 1,102 tries to get his first recipe. 1,102 tries to get his first recipe. So don't feel if you've gone a month or you're telling Mansa Jamil, you might be telling your partners or your friends, you might be saying, I've tried this. I've tried it 4 or 5 times and it didn't work out. See, we wouldn't have Kentucky Fried Chicken if he had that mindset. So you have to understand that consistency impresses me. And you have to understand that consistency and persistency is the sandpaper that'll sand away any obstacle, any mountain in life. And you have to remember that you have to decide unequivocally that I'm going to make it, unequivocally. And you have to say to yourself that unequivocally, I'm going to make it. And you have to keep reminding yourself that it's possible. I shared this story with you once before, very much Kentucky Fried Chicken, only I wasn't at a point of committing suicide, but there were thoughts. I mean, I was really having a tough time. Back in 2006 and 2008, most people weren't cognizant or aware of the crumbling of the market as clear as those that were in real estate and in banking. We used to have about 35, 34 multi-billion-dollar lenders. They all started closing their door. I had 30 employees at the time, and they started falling off and jumping off the ship like rats going down with the Titanic. I mean, people were leaving me. I couldn't stop the bleeding. I was in a major accident, a head-on collision. Car hit me so hard, I still don't remember what happened. The car hit me so hard, head-on. In fact, in the car, it was an old Volkswagen bus. Volkswagen bus hit me and spun me around 7 times. The windshield bust face. I was in the hospital. The kids were coming to see me, blood all in my face. But glory to God, that windshield didn't bust my face open. So I was standing when I got back. It took me 30 days to get back into the office. When I got back, they had pilfered, they had stole from me. People had quit. I even had to fire the secretary. She had changed her pay. I was paying her $2,500 plus bonuses, and she was making maybe $4,500 a month. Payroll called me and she changed her own payroll. She had herself now at $3,500 plus all these bonuses that I had. So I want you to expect challenges, adversity, and know that it's a part of the game. And remember that it's going to take consistency and persistency and a mindset that you're making up your mind that no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, you're going to make it. So I was sitting there, as I told you this story before, when I eventually got back. 31 multi-billion-dollar corporations shut their door. We only had one lender left, and that was Countrywide Mortgage. And those that were around at that time probably remember Countrywide Mortgage. Countrywide Mortgage was the last subprime lender. They had 66,000, some 643 employees. Now, Countrywide was option. That was it. We had nowhere else to submit loans for subprime lending. Countrywide eventually shut their doors. Every one of mine quit. I was standing there. We were running 880 commercials a month. The bills kept piling in. I had about $27,000 a month in just bills alone. I had 5 properties. The people couldn't afford to pay rent. So many people are experiencing with the coronavirus, with the fact that this new law is you don't have to pay rent until January or February of next year. So a lot of homeowners are experiencing what I'm experiencing, a lot of people that own rental properties. So at this juncture, everything was closing in on me. And I'm doing what I did, what I'm asking you to do. I did what Kentucky Fried Chicken did. I did what great men and women do when their back is against the wall. There's a story about King when the city of David was burned and the people was talking about stoning him. He had to encourage himself in the Lord. The word says he encouraged himself in the Lord. And so what I'm saying is that your self-talk, it's time to talk yourself into it. Everything that you're going to have to talk yourself into it. So here's a caveat I want to share with you. Here's a fact. We think we talked this before. We think 60 to 80,000 words. We think 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Now, the caveat is 8% of those thoughts are negative. So it's no surprise to me that you're wrestling with negativity, because what happens is because you don't develop your imagination, your mind spends more time on your past than on your present. So, and the caveat to 80,000 negative thoughts is that 95% of those thoughts are recycled. So that means that 95% of the thoughts that you're having every recycled. And there's only 5% in your mind that's there available in most people's minds for new ideas and new creativity. So here's what we're going to do. When it comes to it's time to talk yourself into it, you've got to feed yourself new information unequivocally. So what I want you to do, here's a strategy. I want you to write down 8 to 10 things that you're going to do yourself, and I want you to write these 8 things down. All right? Know that it's possible. Write that down. Know that it's possible and that you deserve. Write that down. Know that it's possible and that you deserve it. Know that it's possible. Just like Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's like Nelson Mandela when he was sentenced to 27 years in prison. Matiba, 27 years. He had to talk himself in during that time. You know, that's the kind of time people commit suicide over. All right, he had to talk himself into that he was going to be all right. When your worst day is happening, remember, you never have a horrible day. You have a character building day. When you have a tough day, you say to yourself, I'm having a character building day, not a horrible day, not a bad day. You don't have bad days. You don't have problems. You have challenges. So I want you to have challenges and not problems. You have character building days and not horrible days. But I want you to write that down. Know that it's possible and that you deserve it. Know that it's possible and that you deserve it. Now, when you say it's possible, you're not drumming yourself up. You know that you've seen other people accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish so that you can legitimately say it's possible. You can say that. It's possible. It's possible that I can live. It's possible that I can lose weight. It's possible that I can be a better me. It's possible that I can achieve a financial status. It's possible. Write that down, okay? It's possible, and that you deserve it. The second one is that I want you to begin to believe that you can. Now you're going to write this down. Believe that you can do this, and I want you through your day. you know that 80% of your thoughts really could be negative, and 95% of your thoughts are recycled. So what we're going to do is incorporate new thoughts, new strategies in your mind so that we can operate in that 5%, in that 5% of creativity, in that 5% of newness. We're going to start incorporating new thoughts and have you recycle those thoughts along with the other thoughts. That's the strategy, to make sure that you learn to start recycling new thoughts. Part of those new thoughts is you're going to start saying to yourself, it's possible, and that I deserve it. You're just going to walk around during the day. You're going to say it 10 times to yourself, possible, and that I deserve it. It's possible, and that I deserve it. And once you do that, you understand that you become a symbol of possibility, become a symbol of the blessing. You become a symbol of excellence. You become a symbol of the universe because you began to magnet. You began to walk around with animal magnetism. You began to attract, the law of attractions. See, what's attracted to you are your thoughts. If you think negative thoughts, you are going to attract negativity. So you've got to practice thinking positive thoughts, and you will attract positive circumstances and positive people in your life. So we're going to start easy by saying it's possible. I know it's possible. Whatever it is, you incorporate that. For me to lose 30 pounds, I know it's possible. You're just going to start in yourself, because as I shared with you before, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between lie and truth. When you say it, you believe it. When you say it, your mind believes. And you know, I've been doing some study on emotionalized thoughts. You see, logical thoughts don't transform your life. What transforms you is emotionalized thoughts. Write that down. Emotionalized thoughts. Emotionalized thoughts are thoughts that you put into. You say, when you emotionalize something, it gets down in your heart. I want to kind of get into your Kool-Aid. I'm going to get into, open up your mail a little bit. You know, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of that person, that situation, circumstance, and you finally say, I'm done with this. I am done with you. I mean, this is it. This is the last time you're going to cheat on me. Last time you're going to steal on me. This is the last time you're going to disrespect me. That's emotionalized thoughts. When you get your heart into it, when you, this is it. When you say, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, this is it. I'm going to give it one more try. But you can't just say, well, gee, I'm going to give it one more try. It's not convicting enough for your subconscious mind to act on. For your subconscious mind to act on it, you've got to get emotionalized thoughts. You've got to get chemistry going in there. So whatever it is, I'm going to help 5 people this month. I'm going to help 5 people transform their life. In fact, when you talk and they say, well, what do you do for a living? I help people transform their lives. In fact, I'd like to talk to you about an opportunity that I think would help you transform your life. That's what I'm all about. I'm about helping people transform their lives. You've got to start speaking with conviction. So you're going to, the first one, the 8 keys to talk yourself into it. You're going to say, I know it's possible and that I deserve it. Okay. You're going to say, I know it's possible. And what that is, okay, I know it's possible for me to earn 6 figures. I know it's possible and I deserve it. I know it's possible for me to live a new home. I know it's possible and I deserve it. And you're going to say it with conviction. I know it's possible and I deserve it. Okay, that's the first one. That's the first one. And the second one is that you're going to start saying, I believe I can do this. You know, Michael Dell, when he started the Dell Corporation, when Michael Dell started the Dell Corporation, he was in a dormitory. He was living, and he was a sagacious young man. Very, very intelligent, all right, in a dormitory starting Dell Incorporated. He got to a point where he ran out of resources, but he was noted saying, I can do this. I can do this. He was so convicted that he could develop Dell that he went to his parents, he went to his family, borrowed $1,000 because he believed he could do it. And he kept saying to himself, I believe this. I can do this. I can make it happen. Like Nelson Mandela doing 27 years in prison and said to the world when they asked him, I'm sure you have to be bitter. I'm sure you have to be angry. You have to be upset with those that put you in prison. And he did what I shared with you. That perception is the gateway to greatness. Nelson Mandela was noted for saying, I'm really glad that I went to prison because it gave me an opportunity to discover myself. So you need a paradigm shift in your perspective, and you've got to say to yourself, I deserve this. I can do this. I believe in your heart that you can do this. You're going to say to yourself, I know it's possible and I deserve this. And you're going to say, write that down. I know it's possible and I deserve it. And what I want you to write it down for is that you hear it, but when you write it down, it's real. It's for you. Okay. So I want you to personalize it, that it's possible, that you can do this and believe that. And you might say, well, Michael, I don't believe I can lose 40 pounds. I've tried it. And then next thing you know, under my pillow, I got 4 Snickers and a bag of potato chips. You know what he says? So that's all right. That's all right. When you say it with conviction and emotionalized statements and thoughts will form your world, because once your subconscious hears it, it does not distinguish between lie and truth. And it will put you at the right place at the right time. It will change your taste buds. It will change your appetite. You will no longer have an appetite for 18 Snickers if you keep saying, I do not want Snickers. You know what I mean? And hand me one of them Snickers. I'm just kidding. So the third one is you gotta say to yourself, all right, you got to understand that you have to accept that it's hard. Okay, you got to accept that. You got to accept that it's hard, because if transformation, and you got to remember, I'm not into change. I'm not change. I'm like the caterpillar. I'm into transformation. Once that caterpillar gets into that cocoon, and becomes a butterfly, he never goes back to being a caterpillar. And that's what happens with too many people. They make change and then they go back. They go on a diet, but then they go back to eating too much. They say they're going to start this business work, but then they go back to their old habits, because they haven't committed to themselves that today is my day for transformation. I want you to that. Today is my day for transformation. Right. Now say that with emotionalized conviction. Today is my day for transformation. Right. There you go. You want to get emotionalized thoughts with everything you accomplish. You want to emotionalize it. Okay. You want to emotionalize, because you remember the things you remember the most that are those that are painful, that are most painful to you, and those things that brought you the most emotion. That great game that you got excited about, whatever that graduation was, that first thing you did, you might forget everything else, but you're going to remember that situation that was emotional, because emotional, painful circumstances burn themselves into your memory. And that's why you still think about that whooping you got when you was 8 years old and stole that candy bar. You still remember that whooping you got when your mama told you, there, get that stitch, boy. You go on and don't you pick out one of them little switches, pick out a big one, because I'm going to wear your butt out. You know, we still remember those moments, those things we got when we were kids, because they're emotional and they're painful. So when it comes to what you're going to say, your 8 keys for transformation, your 8 golden keys for you to talk yourself into it. It's time for you to talk yourself into greatness. Your 8 emotional keys to be, I know this is possible. And say it with conviction. I know this is possible. You know what? I deserve this. And you're going to say to yourself, I believe I can do this. I can do this. I believe that. And accept that it's hard initially, but it gets easier. So when you say, for the month of October, I'm going to help 5 people. I'm going to help 5 people transform their life. So then you incorporate it with, it's possible. I know it's possible. Malik's did it. Master Jamil did it. So it's possible. Always gauge yourself against someone who's had success that you want. For me, I look toward those that have built an international training company. I look for those that are reaching that have like 500 million followers, you know, that type of stuff. So I have to look and think, If I'm going to reach 1 billion young lives through love, hope, and encouragement, now that right there, that right enough to discourage you. You're going to reach 1 billion young lives. Now, most people are just trying to help 5 or 6 people in their whole lifetime. My goal is to billion young lives through love, hope, and encouragement. So I'm unequivocally, I'm telling you what I do. And I want you to trust me that I'm sharing with you are the same principles that helped me become a #1 top producer in 3 multi-million-dollar corporations, the #1 top producer in 3 multi-dollar corporations, the same principles that helped me build an international training company, the same principles that have helped me become a master sales trainer, expert in personal development. Now, I'm giving you the secrets of life. So first thing you're going to do, it's possible. If Mansell Jamil did it, I can do it. It's possible. And here's the caveat. You don't need to worry about how. You just have to at first start saying you're going to do it. It's just going to the gym. Usually before you start working out, you start saying, look, I got to get back in the gym. That might take a month or two. I'm getting back in the gym. That might use 6 months. But eventually you get started because you're saying it. So don't be intimidated. Don't feel like, well, Michael, I don't want to be no liar. I'm not you've lied before. So don't be trying to tell me you ain't never lied. So here's the deal. What you're going to do is you're going to follow this formula. Okay? You're going to follow the formula. And here it is. Know that it's possible and that you deserve it. Believe that you can do this. You can. I remember when I was standing in that window and I had lost everything. After that last country ride after country ride failed, I ended up losing the houses. I was standing in that window, literally crying, literally looking out that window. But I kept saying to myself, I started in myself in the Lord. I kept saying, I can do this. I will not fail. I am a winner. I am a consummate winner. Unequivocally, I will get on my feet. I knew I'm speaking the right words at the right time to be effective and super successful in every area of my life. I started saying I'm thinking the right thoughts at the right time and super successful in every area of my life. I started saying to myself, I'm thinking great thoughts that support great ideas and great things done. I started saying the right people are coming across my path with the financial resources that I need to accomplish my dreams. And it was about 30 days before someone knocked on the door and asked, is Michael Diamond in here? I answered the door and the guy told me, hey man, I've got this opportunity for you to Heaven Suites downtown Sacramento on the busiest street, J Street and 7th. And they don't want to charge you any rent. I was like, my wig almost fell off. I'm telling you, I had to twist my wig. I had to turn my wig. I had to twist my wig around. I had to go get a job. What are you talking about? What? I'm talking about, man, seven suites downtown in the most popular area of Sacramento. Okay, so I want you to know that what I'm sharing with you works. Now that's 1, 2, 3. I want you to the 4th one, okay? It's hard, but it gets easy. That's the 3rd one. It's hard, but it gets easier. So losing weight, accomplishing, helping families, earning more income, all that starts out initially hard, but it gets easier, okay? Now, focus on the things you can do. Oftentimes we focus on the things we can't do, and we don't focus on the things we can do, okay? You can get up 5 minutes earlier to develop a new habit. You can back off the table instead of eating 4 pieces of chicken, eat 2. You can do that. I know that you might be a lion. You can do that. Focus on the things that you can do. You can speak to more people. You can. Don't say, well, I'm really not speaking to enough people during the month. I'm kind of shy. Well, we all are when we're babies. But the thing is you've got to talk yourself into it. You have to learn to talk. It's time to talk yourself into it. It's time for you to play a bigger game. Listen to me. Your best thinking is what got you where you're at, right? If you incorporate what I'm sharing with you, I guarantee that you will transform your world and never go back. So it's time to start focusing on the things that you can do. Don't focus on what you can't do right now. Focus on what you can do and focus on what you want, not what you have. That's what a lot of people get burdened down. They add to those 80,000 thoughts that they're having every day of negativity because they're focusing on what they can't do. You know, I wish I had a new car. You know what I mean? I don't like my hips, lips, nose, or toes. You know, I just don't have this. I can't have that. You know, this really doesn't work out. I wish I had this. I wish that. No, we're going to focus on what we can do. We're going to focus on what we can do. And we're going to start speaking a can-do attitude. We're going to start thinking about the things that we can do. It's all a numbers game. If you speak to enough people, you will accomplish your objectives. If you incorporate these principles, the golden keys, you will transform your world forever. So, ditch negative conversation. When you find yourself in a negative conversation with yourself, ditch it. When you start thinking about, you know what, the kids are getting on my nerves, you know, I can't stand my job, you know, I don't earn enough money, things aren't working out, I'm way too overweight, I accidentally walked by the mirror and I don't know, I thought somebody in the house because it wasn't me. That wasn't me. I walked by the mirror and saw myself and I was a nervous wreck. Oh my God, that ain't me. No, except that was you, and you can transform yourself. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up. It's all right. Ditch negative thinking. Down. Ditch negative thinking and ditch negative conversations. Now, self-conversations, they're going to come up, and when they come up, just say that's not. And here's a diamond drop for you. All 8 of these are powerful diamonds. But this diamond drop, remember, in the between your thinking and your mouth takes precedence because God said, let there be light, and there was light. But when you're having a negative conversation, you start speaking out. It's possible. I know I can do this. I know I had to do it today. I'm having the day of my life. Everything is going to be all right. I'm going to be fine. That will shut down your negative conversation. And when you stop talking, if it comes back, say, I feel about myself. I'm losing 30 pounds. I'm helping 5 families. I feel good about myself. As long as you don't have a white chalk line etched around your body, it's a great day. I woke up this morning. I wake up. One of the things I do for self-motivation, the moment I open my eyes, I start thanking God. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Father Jehovah. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Most High God. Thank you. I got another day. I get excited. You got to find something to get excited about, something that you get excited about. You know, maybe you kicked your high heels off and you're just like, oh, my feet feel so good. I feel so good. My feet is free. My feet paroled. Girl, I feel good. You got to find things that make you feel good and celebrate them. That's all. You got to find the littlest thing. I did this years ago to incorporate success. I used to take a piece of paper and ball it up and get right in front of the garbage, throw it in the garbage and act like I hit a 3-point from half point. I hit it. I did it. You got to find things to get excited about, okay? So feel the fear. Here's another one. Write this down. Okay, so far we got know it's possible and that you deserve it, all right? Believe that you can do this, all right? Accept that it's hard, but it gets easier. Focus on actions and things that you can do. Ditch negative Sally, negative Frank. Ditch, okay, you got know that it's possible. Believe that you can do this. Accept that it's hard, but it gets easier. Focus on actions and things you can do. Ditch negative Sally, ditch negative Dave, and then feel the fear and way. Because we start out fearful in life, and fear is just a protective mechanism, to protect you from and hurting yourself. So sometimes you might, I'm afraid to talk to more people. Well, brush your teeth. You know what I mean? Wash your hair. Put some fresh stuff on. Put some fresh clothes. Put some fresh clothes on. Don't be afraid to talk to people. People I remember at the and I was on the treadmill. Now, I was in pain and I was trying to get myself in shape. I was hurting. This little old lady right next to me. And I said to her, I said, "How you doing?" And she said, she almost started crying. She said, "I've been here for 30 days and you're the first person that said hello to me." Sometimes people are just waiting for you to say hello to them. And you're thinking, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be just, approaching people. You never know. People might be on the brink of suicide. Say hi to people. Just say hi. Start a conversation. Don't be nervous and say things to people. Okay? And accept the fact that there's going to be challenges. Accept that there's going to be challenges and obstacles. And that's okay. Embrace. I do my best not to use the word problems because I like to incorporate challenges. All right? If I have a serious issue that develops, with problem just cringes you. It's just like, okay, Frank, come on in the office. We got a problem we need to discuss. First thing you're thinking, I'm going to get fired or what? I can't pay my mortgage. You done thought about all this stuff. When you get in the office, the guy says, "Well, I need the cooler fixed. Can you help me?" You're thinking, "Oh my God, I thought I was going to get fired." So I like the word challenges because it puts people at ease. It puts my system at ease. So use the word challenges instead of problems. So let's count off, wrap it up. Now, the 8th one is when you get weary, and we all get weary. When you get weary, okay, go back through the list. Remind yourself that I know it's possible and that I can do this. Believe that this belongs to you. Know and believe that you can do this. Know that, go through it. Know that I knew it was going to be hard, but I know it gets easier. Focus on the actions that you can do. Know that ditch negative Sally and ditch negative Dave. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Accept and expect challenges, obstacles, and don't get blown out of the water just because something doesn't go right or you say hello to somebody and they're going like, "I am not in the mood," okay? Expect that. It's all right. We call it the numbers game. You got to go through at least 4 or 5 no's before you get a yes. In fact, when I used to be on the phones every day, I used to welcome my no. I'll take a no like a vitamin pill. "Oh, you don't want to?" It's like the guy said, "I said no. Why are you so happy?" Well, I'm like, "Oh, you said no? All right, you said no. All right, listen, well, you have a great day. But one last question. Why did you tell me no?" Well, just no. No, you said no. Way to go. Way to go. So don't take no or failure as you just got stabbed in the heart with a stake like you're Dracula. Boom, burn up and disappear. A no is a vitamin pill. And lastly, when you get weary, and you're going to get weary, sometimes we just lean on God. That's all. You got to lean on the Most High. You got to just speak to your situations. You got to know that his all-sufficient is more than capable of superseding all natural events, and that God accepts you and he accepts the best of you. I don't care if you just got through caught stealing 3 bologna sandwiches and your mama whooped your butt. God believes the best in you and he sees the best in you. So just remember those formulas and know that your success, be unapologetic, be sagacious, be wise with your decisions. Know that it's unequivocally, you're going to make it. Settle that in your heart, that unequivocally, I am successful and I'm going to make it. The more you say you're successful, the more you will be successful because your subconscious does not distinguish between lie and truth. And be unambiguous. Know that this is not open to negotiation. This is open to more than one interpretation. I'm going to make it. It's unambiguous. This is unquestionable. I am going to make it. And when you make that declaration, you become a symbol of possibilities. You become a symbol of the blessings. You begin to speak to your situation, speak to your world, create your world, and know that everything is possible to those that believe in a possibility thinking. Know that it's time for you to play a bigger game. It's time for you to, this is for you, Malik. It's time for you to shatter through your glass ceiling, reach in the lion's mouth, and belongs to you. I'll see you in the winner's circle. Know that it's possible. Know that you can. Let's do them one more time. You should have them write it down. Know that it's one that you deserve it. Believe that you can do this. Accept that it's hard, but it gets easier. Focus on actions and things that you can do. Focus, ditch negative Sally, negative Dave. Feel the fear, do it anyway. Expect and accept challenges. And when it's hard, lean on God. I believe in you. I'm excited about you. I'm excited about your success. Like the caterpillar, you're making a full transition. I'll see you in the winner's circle. You speak to your reality, speak to your world, and I want you to know, hold on to your dream. It's time to play your game, and I'll see you in the winner's circle. My name is Michael Diamond, international motivational speaker, master sales trainer, expert in personal development, and I believe in you.
Wow, wow, guys. That was so powerful. I hope you guys are taking notes. Woo! Thank you so much, Michael Diamond, man. I know you put your blood, sweat, and tears and energy in this. We ran a poll. Everybody loves your energy. Everybody's feeling you, man. So thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to see all of you guys in the winner's circle. Thank you for tuning in to the AI Global Legends Quantum Vision Motivational Thursdays. And when we see you at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. Peace and blessings.